Yes, sir. Tigers stamped their ticket to the national championship. New Orleans, 2 weeks from last night. LSU and Clemson inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome as the Tigers are 14-0. After thrashing Oklahoma in the Peach Bowl, every National Coach of the Year award has been scooped up by our guy, Coach Ed Orgeron, and Bebe is with us here on this Tuesday morning. Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Great to be on the show.
Great to have you back after another great win for you in the program, moving on to the national championship here in year 3, Coach. But before we talk about the future, let's talk a little bit about what happened on Saturday and the job that your offensive coordinator did in Steve Ensminger. I know you had to deliver some pretty tough news to him about his family pregame, and then to see the performance that your offense went out there and put up.
Yeah.
What would you make of it?
So proud of Steve. You know, Steve's the ultimate LSU Tiger. He played here. He played for Charlie Mack. He's from Louisiana. Loves the Tigers. Steve's like John Wayne of our staff, man. He's a general. He's a family man. He was very hurt, very distraught. But he was going to do his job for the Tigers. And I'm so proud of Steve and our team. Really respects Coach Ensminger, as always have. And knew he was going to do a great job. But our prayers out to him and his family, his wife Amy, and his daughter, and his son Stephen, and all the family. What a tragic, tragic event, and we're so sorry that it happened.
That's one of those things that they don't tell you as a head coach. It doesn't come in the to-do list. How did you keep your team on focus there after delivering news like that to Coach?
You know, first of all, it happened between me and Steve, and obviously he kept it with his family, and it was not discussed with our football team. Obviously, we told them after. I think a couple of them may have heard it before the game, but the focus was on winning the game. And after that, we were able to give, as a team, we gave Steve the game ball very much deserved. We said a prayer for him and his family, and obviously we're going to support Steve and his family throughout the week.
Talking to Coach Ed Orgeron here on Off the Bench, and Coach, in happier news, the game itself. I mean, the job that Coach Ensminger did, unreal. 7 touchdowns thrown in the first half. But I actually want to start somewhere that maybe isn't like the biggest highlight of the game, and that was the play of Chris Curry. I guess first, what did you think about Curry's play? But also, how did he earn that playing time? Because for most of the year, it'd been Clyde and then it'd been TDP, and Curry was kind of nowhere to be found.
Yeah, I'm so proud of Chris. With this transfer portal and stuff like that, when things don't go some players' ways, they're looking at transfer portal and they leave. But Chris never entered his mind. He stayed. He says, Coach, I'm going to compete and get better. I will be a great running back at LSU. He's had tremendous bowl practices. When Clyde was going to be out, and we didn't know if we could play. Now we had to decide who was going to be the best back out of those 3. And all 3 of them are phenomenal backs. But the coaching staff felt, Coach Ensminger and Coach Brady felt that he had the best week of preparation going into the game, and he fit what we did best in our run game. So we played him. He had a phenomenal game.
Coach, you mentioned bowl practices, and your team looks fresher at the end of the season. You guys look like you have more energy out there. Is that kind of around the practice schedule?
Jack Marucci and Tommy Moffitt, as you guys know, do a tremendous job for me. They measure their heart rate, they measure their output and game speed, and they measure when our team is tired. They let me know. And we scaled back about 3/4 of the season. We started scaling back our practices, but we still work hard. But we work very fast, and we give them time to rest. Our team is not worn out. We have tremendous leadership on this football team. Our guys have 4 days off right now. We're going to come back and practice Thursday and take a couple of days off and then get ready.
Your offense gets all the highlights and all the accolades and all the attention around the country. Obviously, everybody talking about Joe Brady. 2 things on this, Coach. Obviously, his name's coming up for some NFL jobs, his security with LSU. And how do you, as a head coach, limit that from becoming a distraction in preparation when that stuff's going on with your staff?
Obviously, I got to give Scott Woodward a lot of credit. He came to me during the first open date. This is, Coach, we're going to have to make a plan for Joe. This is going to happen fast. And we did. And the school made a great plan. And I believe that we're in good shape. Joe is happy here at LSU. And obviously, things can happen. But I think that we're in great shape. We're going to discuss his final situation after we finish, and I do believe that Joe's going to be LSU Tiger. Obviously, he's going to be a head coach one day. He's a hot ticket. He's a great young man, but I'm glad we got him as an LSU Tiger.
Yeah, Coach, and then looking at the game, and maybe one of the reasons why Brady's name is obviously so out there is that 7 touchdowns in the first half in a playoff game. Like, what? And so here's the deal, because I know at halftime you have to be locked in, and you got to be like, okay, we got to finish this, boys. How do you get the team to like stay on edge when they just drop 7 TDs in the first half?
That's the hard part, and myself to motivate the football team. I reminded them that Oklahoma had came from behind to win some big games, and but we're not letting them come behind on us. I thought going out in the third quarter and starting strong was the center message. But these guys, this was not our final destination. These guys wanted to play their very best ball game, and I believe that they did, and we finished it off the right way.
Coach, just a little housekeeping here. Terrace Marshall looked like he had a bit of an injury. D-Lou as well. Is there any update on those guys?
Yeah, Terrace should be fine. I think he'll be a little sore coming back, but he should be okay. Damian Lewis's early prognosis looked a little bit more positive than we thought. We thought maybe we have to do some work on him, but it looks like we won't. Obviously, you have to have a lot of rehab. We'll know more next week. He ain't gonna practice this week, and we think we may have him for the game, but we got to see how far along he gets this week.
Coach, one of the I think the part of this team that has really maybe surprised a lot of people nationally, right? Like the people who don't follow this team week in and week out, has been how good the defense has played down the stretch here. What's been the key to that defense looking like the defense that I think LSU fans were really expecting to see all year long?
Our best players are playing their best ball. Killer Chasso had his best game. We put pressure on the quarterback. Our whole game plan was to stop Jalen Hurts running the football. I thought Coach Aranda did a tremendous job of getting our team ready. We practiced the run so many times that by the time game time came, those runs that they had run against us, we had practiced that maybe each of them 60 times. So our guys were ready for those plays. They played them well. We played great on the back end. C.D. Lamb, we knew he was going to make a couple of plays. He did. But overall, I got to give Coach Aranda credit for gathering this defense up, challenge them, and them doing a great job.
How do you like how this 2020 class is coming together in the early signing period, and what's it look like potentially signing in February?
Yeah, obviously I like our guys we got right now. Man, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mid-year graduates coming in, led by 2 fantastic quarterbacks, some defensive linemen, great rushers, and then Eric Gilbert, the National Player of the Year. 2 great receivers, some outstanding offensive line. I think Coach James Craig did a great job. The guy I'm most fired up is Jackson Roy, man, right here from Baton Rouge, one of the top defensive linemen in the country. Him and Jacobin Guillory are right here with us, man, from the state of Louisiana. They stayed home to represent the great state. And then Eric Taylor from Alabama, big-time defensive lineman from the state of Alabama, could have went to a lot of schools. Excited about them. Elias Ricks, the number 1 cornerback in the country. So we got a lot of great guys coming in. But, there's some guys out there left. We're going to compete. There's some great defensive linemen. We've got to find us a big-time running back. And we got some guys we got our eyes on, and we're going to finish strong.
Coach, one more from a personnel standpoint. As soon as that game went final on Saturday night, Michael Divinity tweeted out, "My city, I'm coming home, one more game." How does he help you out maybe in preparation, getting him back on defense?
Yeah, I think it looks positive for Michael to come back. A final decision hasn't been made. I think we're going to make that this week. And it looks positive to come back. And if all the boxes check out, he's coming back, and we welcome him back. Michael's practiced hard. He's been great. He's been a great team player. And all indications are he'll be able to play. The final decision hasn't been made. But as soon as that final decision has been made, we'll get him cranked up, ready to go.
And so finally, Coach, we'll close here asking about the next opponent, the final opponent. You keep saying every week the games get bigger. Well, this is the last one, Clemson. Yeah, right, exactly. Like the biggest is here. What's your kind of early read on this Clemson team?
Obviously, I think the quarterback's 25-0. defending national champs. Those guys have a tremendous program. Dabo Swinney's done an excellent job. Great players all over the field. They have top recruiting classes. It's going to be a challenge. But, you know, as you guys know, it's never been about the other team. It's been about the LSU standard of performance. It's going to be how we prepare, and I know we're going to prepare well. Is this going to be a home crowd for us? We got to use the crowd for our advantage. There'll be some tremendous emotion going on that night. But that's not going to win the game for you. You win the game with fundamentals, go out and take care of that football and play LSU standard performance.
Have you had a chance just to think that you're taking the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback as the National Coach of the Year with LSU to the Superdome to play for a national championship?
Yeah. No. I'm breaking down Clemson. Drinking coffee, man. Just thinking about the next one. I think one day it'll all settle in. All those accolades are good. I have a tremendous staff. I think I have the best staff in America. So that's a tribute to those guys. I do believe Joe's the best player in America. What a great representation of LSU. I could pick a finer young man to win that award.
State's behind your back, man. Get them ready, and we'll be there. National championship night, 2 weeks from yesterday, Coach. Thanks for the time this morning.
Go Tigers.
There he is,
sir.
Coach Ed Orgeron, checking in from his office this morning, getting his team prepared for the national championship. We'll be back and close that hour
Coach of
number
the
1.
year.